everyone, welcome to the very first of a 50-part, or at least planned to be 50-part, series playthrough of the Ace Attorney games. Mainline Ace Attorney games. We're going to be missing out some of the spin-offs. I know there's a Professor Layton, Phoenix Wright spin-off that some people really like. I might play that game at some point, but not in this series. This is purely going to be the mainline Ace Attorney combat in court. I don't know why I called it combat, but whatever. In court series that we know and love. Now, I've gone on the record a number of times in the past saying if I could have one game where I could forget everything and start from fresh, it would be this series. I played these games. I played Ace Attorney, Justice for All, Trials and Tribulations, and Apollo Justice all in like a spate of a few months over like one summer when I was about 16. I fucking loved those games. I have also played the first Ace Attorney Miles Edgeworth game, the Ace Attorney Investigations game, and I played, I'd say, about half of Dual Destinies on the 3DS. I think I got to Turnabout Academy, and then for some reason, you know, life got up to me or whatever, and I just fell off of it. I never got around to finishing it, which is a shame, because I was enjoying my time with it. But now it's time to rectify that, and we're going to go through it. Every single one of these is going to be a single YouTube video. So you might notice on the list here, it says like YouTube Part 1, Episode 1, the first Turnabout. This is going to be the one that you're currently watching, if you're watching it. And this is going to be an encapsulated YouTube episode that has just that one case in it, along with this introduction, obviously. That does mean this video is going to be pretty short, because that case is pretty short. It's just an introduction to the game, like the tutorial. I'm pretty sure every episode more or less ends with like a glimpse of what's going to happen in the next episode, so maybe we'll do that as well. That could be fun, like see what you're up for next time. But yes, there'll be no like confusion as to where a case starts and ends. There won't be any sort of like halfway through an episode we'll come back to a case and then we'll start another one at a random point or whatever. If you want to see any of these, you can watch the specific one, say like Part 5, you can watch all of Rise from the Ashes. That might be like a 7-hour YouTube video, but it'll all be there. But I think that's going to be the best way to do this. So yeah, we're going to be obviously starting off, like I said, with Ace Attorney, all the way up to game number 10 there, and part number 50, which will be the Great Ace Attorney 2. I don't think they've announced an Ace Attorney 7, but maybe by the time we get to the Great Ace Attorney 2, they might have. In which case, obviously I'll add it to the list and we'll carry on the series. But these are all going to be offline recorded. None of this is going to be done through stream. They're not going to have any sort of set schedule. I don't plan on releasing these in any particular time frame or whatever. This is just purely something that I can do in my free time. I want to play the games anyway, so I figured why not record them as a video and put them out for people to watch if they want, you know? And yeah, so there might be like massive gap in between. We might do this first Turnabout, there might be, I don't know, maybe the next like 5 will come out really quickly, and then there'll be like a 2-month wait until we even start Justice for All, because Extra Life's happening and all that shit this time of year for us. So don't expect these to come out in any sort of particular schedule or frequency, but they will be happening. Also, this is going to be one of those playthroughs where I'm not going to be doing like loads of silly voices. Who knows, if the mood takes me, I might do something with some characters, but I doubt it. This is going to be very casual. This is going to be like I would be playing the game on my own, in my own time, just you're kind of here watching. So don't expect any sort of crazy voice work or anything, but at the same time, it should be fun. It should be good to figure all this stuff out together. My memory of the games I've played, these like first 5, and then some of Dual Destinies, it's pretty hazy. I do remember sort of the broad strokes in the story to some degree. So I'm going to remember a lot of like who the actual murderers are, which is a bit sad. But in terms of like how it's done and stuff, that's going to be something that I need to refigure out. So at the very least, I think I'm going to enjoy that side of it. You know, puzzling it out. That should be fun. But yeah, that is it for my investigation. I was about to say investigation. That's it for my investigation. That's it for my introduction to what we're going to be doing for the Ace Attorney series playthrough. Stick around and I'll stitch on the start of the first Turnabout. I will also say one last thing. I don't plan on doing any big, like, edits. You know, any sort of fancy edit work or whatever. It's probably more or less just going to be I'm going to hit the pause button, and then I'm going to go start the game and we're just going to go play. But if the mood takes me, I might do something here and there. We will see. So a lot of it's down to free time, which I don't have a huge amount of, so... But yeah, let's get started with Episode 1, the first Turnabout. Okay, like I said, pause and unpause, no fancy edits. But we're going to be going straight in now with Episode 1, the first Turnabout. Now, I will say, it might show some, like, stuff of other things on here. I don't know if it always does this, but I have played a little bit of this. I think I got into, like, Episode 2 or 3 before I, like, in my own time, before I put it down and figured out, you know, maybe I kind of want to do a series for it, so. I think for now I'm going to try play it with the mouse. I don't know if I need to capture my cursor for that. Actually, you know what? Never mind. I immediately changed my mind. I think I'm going to play it with the controller. Right. Here we go. Press the wrong button. Damn it! Why me? I can't get caught. Not like this! I've got to find someone to pin this on. Someone like him. I'll make it look like he did it. I wonder who the murderer was. August 3rd, 9:47 AM, District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. I fucking love this song so much. This has just brought me back to that 2000 and fucking like 3 or 2 or whatever it was when I was playing this. The music in this game is fantastic. I'm probably going to be like geeking out over it a lot, chat, so apologies in advance. Boy, am I nervous. Right. Oh, hiya, Chief. Phew, I'm glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. It says a lot about you, and your client as well. Thanks. Actually, it's because I owe him a favor. A favor? You mean you knew the defendant before this case? Yeah. Actually, I kinda owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Well, that's news to me. I want to help him out any way I can. I just really want to help him. I owe him that much. It's over! My life, everything, it's all over! Is that your client screaming over there? Yeah, it's him. Death, despair, oh! I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna die! Sounds like he wants to die. Yeah. Oh, Larry Butts! Nick! Hey there, Larry. Dude, I'm so guilty! Tell them I'm guilty! I love this guy. Give me the death sentence, I ain't afraid to die! What? What's wrong, Larry? Oh, it's all over. I'm finished! Finished! I can't live in a world without her, I can't! Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Oh, Nick, you gotta tell me who took my baby away! Person responsible for your girlfriend's death. The newspapers say it was you. My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. My first case is a fairly simple one. Young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her, Larry Butts, my best friend since grade school. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. Chat, this brings me to an anecdote that I might have told on stream before. I say chat. By the way, I stream primarily instead of recording these days, and it's been like that for so long that I'm going to say chat when I'm addressing the audience. I apologize. I grew up, I don't want to, like, dox anyone, but I grew up with someone whose last name was Reeks. And my first name is Martin. Martin rhymes with farting. It was, like, perfect for the bullies in our school. And I wasn't even, like, mad. Because they were like, Martin keeps farting, and that's why, I'm not going to say first name, Reeks. That was their, like, their rhyme. It wasn't even, like, that offensive. It was just kind of, like, funny. So even I wasn't bothered by it. But it just reminded me of that. When something smells, it's usually the butts. Yeah. Yeah, I feel you, Larry. He has a knack for getting himself in trouble. One thing I can say, though, it's usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone. He's a good guy at heart. That, and I owe him one, which is why I took the case to clear his name. That's just what I'm gonna do. Also, chat, fair warning in advance. I know it's happened a couple times already, so apologies I haven't warned ahead of time. I'm only just remembering to do it now. These games, notoriously, and I kind of don't see it, I gotta be honest. Like, I mean, I do see it, but, like, when I'm focused on the game, I kind of just, like, I'm tunnel vision, and I don't necessarily notice it all happening all the time. Tons of screen shaking, which I think I technically can turn off, but actually the screen shaking, I feel like, is used in kind of good way in this game to emphasize stuff. You'll see that later on with some of the criminals, and they have their breakdowns. But it also has a ton of screen flashing, and that there is no option to turn off. So, apologies if you're photosensitive, or like have photosensitive epilepsy. Probably not going to be a good playthrough for you to watch. So just want to say that. Get that out there ahead of time. Lots of flashing. Be careful. August 3rd, 10 AM, District Court Room number 2. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, this is your first trial, is it not? Yes, Your Honor. I'm a little nervous. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness. Yes, Your Honor. Ugh. Hands shaking. Eyesight fading. The test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. That would be Larry Butts. The defendant? Well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor. Correct. Just keep your wits about you and you'll do fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me, what's the victim's name? Phew, I know this one. Glad I read the case report cover to cover so many times. It's... Wait. Uh-oh. No, wait, I forgot. I'm drawing a total blank here. Phoenix, you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name? Oh, the victim. Of course I know the victim's name. I just forgot. Temporarily. I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the victim's name is listed in the court record. Just press tab to check it at any time, okay? Or, in my case, RB right now. Cindy! We can go to the thing here and see Cindy Stone, age 22. Remember to check it often. Do it for me, please. I'm begging you. Mr. Wright, who is the victim in this case? Cinder Block. No, Cindy Stone. The victim's name is Cindy Stone. Correct. Now tell me, what was the cause of death? She died because she was... Well, we know why she died, but let's just check the court record. It says here, time of death, you know, between 4 and 5 p.m. on the 7th day of the 31st month. No, obviously that's an American date. 31st of July. Cause of death, loss of blood due to blunt trauma. That one. She was struck once by a blunt object. Correct. You've answered all my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed. You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you. Thank you, Your Honor. Because I don't feel relaxed, that's for sure. Well then. First, a question for the prosecution. Mr. Payne? Yes, Your Honor. As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was? The murder weapon was this statue of the thinker. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim. I see. The court accepts this into evidence. Statue of the thinker. It's rather heavy. Right. Be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Use tab to check the court record frequently. Well, you told us specifically to do it, so... Doesn't really give me any extra information. Lived in an apartment by herself. Likeable guy. Generally bad. There's job. Mr. Winston Payne. Statue is pretty heavy. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness. Prosecution calls the defendant, Mr. Butts, to the stand. Chief, what do I do now? Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate. Uh-oh. Larry gets excited easily. This could be bad. I mean, he was literally saying, give me the death sentence outside, so it's not a good sign, is it? Ahem! Mr. Butts, is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you? Hey, watch it, buddy! We were great together, we were Romeo and Juliet, Cleopatra and Mark Anthony. I don't think you want to be any of those. Didn't they all die? I wasn't dumped, she just wasn't taking my phone calls or seeing me, ever. What's it to you anyway? Mr. Butts, what do you describe as generally what we mean by dumped? In fact, she had completely abandoned you and was seeing other men. She just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder. What do you mean, one of them? Lies! All of it lies! I don't believe a word of it! Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died. The victim apparently arrived home from Paris on the 30th of July, the day before the murder. Indeed. She appears to have returned the day before the murder. Dude, no way. The victim was a model, but did not have a large income. It appears that she had several sugar daddies. Pretty sure this is where the line came from over these sound effects he has on his channel. Because he did play a little bit of this, I think, if I remember rightly. Daddies? Sugar? Yes, older men who gave her money and gifts. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle. Dude! You can clearly see what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now? Right? I don't think you want him to answer that question. Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth in all the wrong directions. Should I wait and see what happens, or stop him from answering? Let's stop him. My client had no idea the victim was seeing other men. That question is irrelevant to this case. Oof! Dude, Nick, what do you mean irrelevant? A cheating she-dog. I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, and when I meet her in the afterlife, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Let's continue with the trial, shall we? I believe the accused's motive is clear to everyone. Yes, quite. Oh boy, this is not looking so good. Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Well, did you, or did you not? Well, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Oh no, he went. What do I do? Honestly, I'll send him a signal. Tell the truth. Yeah, I was there. I went. Listen, we know he didn't do it. So, if he tells the truth, we should be able to get to the bottom of it. No point telling him to tell a lie. Order! Well, Mr. Butts? Dude, chill. She wasn't home, man. So, like, I didn't see her. Your Honor, the defendant is lying. Lying? Prosecution would like to call a witness who can prove Mr. Butts is lying. Well, that simplifies matters. Who's your witness? The man who found the victim's body. Just before making the gruesome discovery, he saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime. Order! Order in the court. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness. Yes, Your Honor. Ah, this is bad. On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Please bring Mr. Frank Sowit to the stand. Frank saw it, rather. Mr. Saw it, of course. I kind of forget that everyone, like, has fucking pun names. You know? Like, I'm pretty sure even these guys... I don't know about Mia Fey, I'm not sure what that is. Larry Butts, obviously. Cindy Stone. Winston Payne, I think, is supposed to be... Because when you say Winston, you don't... You kind of, like, don't really pronunciate the stun at the end, and it kind of becomes Winston. Winston Payne. Wince and Payne. And Frank saw it, of course. Mr. Sawit, you sell newspaper subscriptions, is this correct? Oh, yes, newspapers, yes! Mr. Sawit, you may proceed with your testimony. Oh, hang on, 1 second, chat, as well. I'm just gonna have a quick look in the options here. Okay, so we have an option for save. Yeah, there is a thing here to turn off the screen vibration. But I'm just gonna keep that on. I wasn't sure if there was maybe an option to change the, button prompts, because right now I think they're set to probably Xbox buttons, whereas I'm using a Switch controller. That's okay though. Anyway, please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder. Now we get into the witness testimony, the meat and potatoes of this game, chat. I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. When I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly, it was 1 PM. The man who ran was, without a doubt, the defendant sitting right over there. Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against testimony like that. Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working? Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building. Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout? Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Sawit used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your perusal. Electricity to Mr. Stone's building was out from noon to 6 PM on the day of the crime. Let me have just a quickie. Okay, I can't But we also have this as well. We also have the thinker. Cause of death apparently was, or time of death was apparently between 4 and 5 PM. Sure. Now, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. May begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination, Your Honor. Alright, right. This is it. The real deal. What exactly am I supposed to do? Why, you expose the lies in the testimony the witness just gave. Lies? What? He was lying? Your client is innocent, right? And that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty? How do I prove he's not? You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face. Okay. Open the court record with tab and then point out the contradictions in the testimony. It's not tab. Now, here's how this game works. For anyone who's not played any of these games before, first off, yes, I can present evidence at any point. I can say, you're lying on this statement, I'm going to present some evidence. We have a health bar at the top. We can only get so many things wrong before the case is just over. We also have a press button. Now, basically what happens is you can go through this testimony as many times as you want. You can go all the way to the end, and he'll just sort of like ruminate on it, and then they'll go back to the start, and it'll keep going through the testimony until you pick up on all the things you need to pick up on. Press is basically like free extra information. Oftentimes that's what leads to the contradictions. So there might not be a contradiction plainly obvious at the start, but if you press them on it, they might then present some extra information which is a contradiction. Now, instead of looking for the right thing to press, I used to just kind of press everything. Because then you would get as much information as humanly possible. So we're going to do that for now. I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. Is that a man leaving an apartment a common sight? Find it odd you would take notice of him. I don't know. He just seemed strange to me, that's all. Like he was mad, and yet frightened at the same time. Just like a criminal fleeing the scene of a crime. The defense requests that the witness refrain from conjecture. Of course, what the witness means is that the man he saw looked suspicious. So what happened next? I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Half open, you say? Yes, and the door was open halfway, yes. I watched for a moment, but no one came to close the door. That's odd in a big city like this, I thought. Let's see, what happened next? Thinking it strange, I took a look inside the apartment. What gave you the idea to do that? Well, the door was half open, you see. Isn't it only human to want to peek? We climb mountains because they're there. It's the same thing. True words have never been spoken. Anyone would look inside. Why did Payne cut him off so quickly? So you looked into the apartment. What happened then? And I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. Are you sure she was dead? Well, no, I guess I wasn't. But she wasn't moving at all. There was blood everywhere. Guess that would look fatal to anyone. Very well, what happened next? I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. So you didn't touch anything in the apartment? Yes, I mean, no, nothing. Okay, what happened next? Thought to call the police immediately. You thought to call the police? Does that mean you didn't actually call them? Please, listen to the rest of the testimony. You thought to call the police, what happened next? However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. The phone in her apartment wasn't working. Yes, I mean, no, it wasn't, right. But you said you didn't go into the apartment, or did you? Oh, Oh, that, I can explain that. There was a cordless phone on the shelf in the entranceway. I reached inside and tried using that to call. And that phone wasn't working, correct? What happened next? Went to a nearby park and found a public phone. Why use a public phone? Well, you see, I don't have a cell phone. And being in the middle of the afternoon, there was no answer at the nearby apartments. Alright, what time did you call again? Remember the time exactly, it was 1 p.m. 1 p.m., are you certain? Yes, absolutely. Seems really confident. 1 p.m. Right, doesn't that seem strange to you? So let's have a look at our stuff here, okay? We have time of death between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. Cause of death, loss of blood due to blunt trauma. The electricity was out from noon to 6. They came home the day before, and they have this big thinker statue. However, according to our autopsy report, they died between 4 and 5, so 1 p.m. makes no sense. Present some evidence to contradict him. 1 p.m. My ass it was. I was trying to figure out what Y was on my controller for a second. You found the body at 1 p.m.? You sure? Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. I always love when they do this slapping the paper animation. That's really good. The autopsy notes the time of death at sometime after 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap? This is trivial! The witness merely forgot the time. No, he said certain. After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Sort, why were you so certain that you found a body at 1 p.m.? Gee, that's a really good question. Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you had to do. Point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one, and that whole story falls apart. Wait, I remember now. Would you care to give your testimony again? You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. Maybe we don't need to press him on everything, chat, because this guy is a real idiot. You heard I kind of lost that bit there. You said you heard like a TV tape program or whatever. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Right. You know what to do. I got this one. When I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. The fuck it was, buddy! Because there was a blackout. From noon to 6 p.m. Bam! Hold it right there. Prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery. And this record proves it. Uh-oh. You couldn't have heard a television or a video. Ah! The defense has a point. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Sort? No, I find it quite puzzling myself. Quite. Oh, wait, I remember now. Mr. Sort, the court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. That, and you seem rather distraught. My apologies, Your Honor. It must have been the shock of finding the body. Very well, Mr. Sort. Let's hear your testimony once more, please. Actually, I didn't hear the time, I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw. Table clock, murder weapon, you say? Huh. So I had to cough. You saw a clock. I guess that would explain it. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Gladly. Oh, the music. We're on the chase. Actually, I didn't hear the time, I saw it. Strikes me as a very suspicious mistake. Yes, I can see how you'd be a little doubtful. I'm really sorry, I only just remembered the table clock. A table clock? There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Table clock? Was there a clock at the scene? It's the first I've heard of it. Yeah, the murder weapon. Killer used it to hit the victim. The murder weapon? Yes, the table clock that was used as a weapon. That's what I just said. Did you doze off in the middle of my testimony or something? Something's fishy here. Well, I mean, we have the murder weapon right here, but this is just a statue. Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was this statue. Now, how is this supposed to be a clock? What? You with your objections and your evidence. Just who do you think you are? I love that. You with your truth and your evidence, and you're pointing out my lies and mistakes and my murders. Just answer the question, Mr. Sawit. Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may... Yes, Mr. Payne? As the witness stated, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud. And it doesn't look like a clock. I submitted it as a statue. My apologies. I see. So the murder weapon, not meppon, that's a different word, was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with this testimony now? Yeah. Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock was to hold it in his hand. Yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Clearly a contradiction. Indeed. The witness knew it was a clock because he went into the apartment. You're lying! You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder. Oh yeah, prove it! Prove I went in there. I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with a clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard. Order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sawit, the sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice is burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time. What's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture. Baseless? Just look at the witness's face. Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock? That day, I never. Look, the clock, I heard no. I mean, I saw. Shut up, I hate you. It was him, I tell you. I saw him. He killed her, and he should burn. Give him death. Order in the court, I say. Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims. Mr. Wright. Your Honor. The claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence? Whole case is riding on this. Better think it through carefully. Your Honor. The sound Mr. Sawit heard was definitely this clock. fact which is clear if you simply... Let's sound the clock now, here in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I asked the court to listen very carefully. Beep. I think it's 8:25. That certainly is a strange way to announce the time. Well, he is the thinker, after all. So, we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright? Mr. Payne, can you tell me, what time is it now? It's 11:25. 3 hours different. Ah! As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy that between Mr. Sorrett heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Sorrett, try to talk your way out of this one. You forget one thing! Uh-oh. What's he talking about now? Well, it may seem like that clock is running 3 hours slow. It proves nothing. How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? You can't prove that. You don't have the case. He's right. I'm going to prove that. Damn it, I was so close. Mr. Wright, it seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim. Yes, Your Honor. Now, obviously, chat, this is the tutorial case, and I know it reasonably well from, like, playing it in the past. So, you know, I kind of know what's happening here. But I will say, normally, in a case where I don't know exactly what's going on, or I've forgotten, we're going to be going through this a lot, and sitting and reading things, and trying to figure out. But, you know, if you haven't figured it out yourself already, the time discrepancy is from them going to Paris. This means I cannot let you indict the witness, unfortunately. This ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Sorrett. Come all the way down here to testify and look what happens. Treat me like a criminal! You lawyers are all slime! Almost had him. Sorry, Larry. I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now. Do it, Mia. Not so fast, Mr. Sorrett. Chief. Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think. Chief, it's over. Can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. Well, yes. But that doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason, and then you'll have your proof. Right? Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? Yes. Wait! Maybe I can prove it. You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, Wright. Find it and let them have it. Well, Mr. Wright, you say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim? Of course. There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a shadow of a doubt. Ha! Tough words. Let's see you pull this one off. Let's see this evidence that proves why the clock was running slow. Passport. The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 PM here, it's 1 AM the next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast! The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in her apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Sorrett? Or should I say, Mr. Did It? Uh-oh, here he goes. Everyone has their own, like, animated freak out, which I love. And obviously the tutorial guys isn't going to be that special, but I like how he just foams from the mouth and falls over. Order, I say! Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your witness? He was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. I have to say, I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly. Or turn into a prosecutor halfway through, which I'm pretty sure is not allowed in regular courts. And find the true culprit at the same time. Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts, not guilty. And with that, this court is adjourned. Turns out that Frank saw it was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house. That day, when Larry went to meet her in her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Sawyer let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Sawyer grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find. And bashed her over the head. August 3rd, 2:32 PM, District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Whew, still can't believe we won. Right, good job in there. Congratulations. Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. Not at all, not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note. Never seen the Chief looking this happy. She's this glad, imagine how Larry must feel. My life is over. Larry, you're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now? Oh, Nick. Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone soon. Good. Wait. No, I mean, bad. Bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed. But my Cindy Windy's gone, man. Forever. Larry, she was a... Nah, never mind. Congratulations, Harry. If that's your name or whatever. Harry? Yes, you. I can practically see the headlines now. Harry Butts, innocent. Thanks. I really owe you one. I won't forget this, ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner, movie, my treat. He moves on quickly. Oh, no, I couldn't. Hey, I was the one who got you off the hook. Oh, hey. Here, take this. It's a present. What, the murder weapon? Am I allowed to do that? I feel like that should be, like, locked up somewhere. A present? For me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that... Actually, I made this clock for her. Made one for her and one for me. Really? You made this? Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento. Yo, Nick. Can you believe it? So into that chick. And she was just playing me for a fool. Don't that make you just want to cry? Larry. Are you so sure? Excuse me? I think she thought quite a lot of you in her own way. Nah, you gotta sympathize with me. It's okay. Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right? Don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him? Huh? Oh, yeah, right. What the heck is she talking about? It's the clock, you dummy. Why is she still carrying this thing around? Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her. Huh? What about that clock? This is the clock you made for her, Larry. She took it with her when she traveled. Whatever, she probably just needed a clock, that's all. Think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Well, make of it what you will. Hey, Nick. I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Thanks. Hope that made him feel a little better. Right? Hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People, too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right? Listen. Learn. Grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off? Yeah, I guess so. Say, how about dinner on me? We'll drink a toast to innocent butts. Yeah! Oh, speaking of Harry, you were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him. Yeah, part at least. You have to tell me more about it sometime. Maybe over drinks? And so my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends." But I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay us. Unless you count the clock he gave Mia. I didn't know it then. But that clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident. My promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise that I wouldn't be able to keep. Well then, doesn't that sound intriguing? But you'll have to find that out on the next case. Also, look at, this is how long ago it was that I got to episode 3, and it was in 2019. We're going to just save right over this. There you go. That was the end of Case 1, Episode 1. Join me again next time for Episode 2. Turnabout Sisters.